immigrate here, they should have 3 years or something to learn the language. If they don't learn it, they can fuck off back home.
On the 4th of May, the English Defence League, the EDL, gathered in Moortown, Leeds to protest against the proposed opening of a community centre funded by an Islamic charity. The English Defence League has quickly risen to become one of the most pronounced protest movements in the UK. Buses shuttled protesters to the Penny Fun pub, where around 300 EDL supporters gathered and drank together. It was evident that a lot of the supporters knew one another and used the gathering to catch up, chat and get drunk together. The EDL claimed to be an organisation promoting British values and protecting the British way of life. Its supporters deny that they are racist or fascist, and that they are merely the voice of the silent majority. Many of the protesters' mantra being,
I ain't racist, I'm English, and this is England.
The EDL states to be against what it calls Islamic extremism. The atmosphere was tense, with a strong police presence and a gaggle of press surrounding the pub.
We are the EDL, we are the English Defence League. We're not violent, we're not racist, but we're no longer silent.
After being made to consume some of their Lambrini to gain their trust, a few gentlemen introduced us to the organisers of the rally, who were willing to answer our questions about their organisation and what brought them to Moortown. They refused to be on camera.
Fascists or racist, but we're here today. That's not true.
No, it's not true whatsoever, because we're here to stand for against another mosque.
Yeah.
Okay, which is so many in this country now, right? And we've got 58 in Leicester, that's where I live.
Yeah.
And I think you're just being greedy.
Yeah. With increased alcohol consumption and chants bellowing anti-Islamic sentiment, there was an air of hostility brewing as the protesters began to spill out onto the street and aim aggression towards the police, journalists and photographers. The protesters were kettled as the march made its way along a route designated by the police, ending at the proposed community centre.
So we're here now, the site of the proposed new community centre. The EDL say that this is not the case, and actually it's just another example of the Islamification of Britain and its society, and this is where they're taking their stand. So you're a resident in the local area?
Yeah.
Had you just come outside?
Yeah.
Did you realise this was taking place?
It's the only when I come back from work.
What do you make of the EDL rally here today?
I think it's disgusting. I think it's disgusting that it's been allowed to take place on a public residential street.
The EDL claimed that the pub is becoming a mosque, further evidence of the Islamification of British society. He also claimed that 80% of residents were against the building of the community centre and that the EDL were acting on behalf of the local residents' interests. We spoke to the residents in the area, including one woman who, out of fear of reprisal, would not be filmed.
It's threatening to me. I've got children, I've got 2 young boys, and it's really important to me to bring them up in a multicultural community, and it's something I will fight for.
Yeah.
But I'm nervous because, does that mean that I'll get singled out by a local fascist?
You'd feel physically threatened if we were to film you and that?
Not physically, no, but I have to live here. I have to live here, and I have to bring my kids up here. And
do you not think that that's quite horrible, that you can't voice your own views
absolutely
in your own community without fear of being intimidated,
absolutely,
whether that be verbally or physically?
That's intimidating. What's just gone past us now, with all those people chanting racist. I'm white and British, but at the moment I'm really embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to be British right now. It's embarrassing.
We sat with an EDL protester who fell away from the march.
So what brings you here today? You're a member of the EDL?
I am a member of the EDL. I'm here to oppose against the Linfield community pub being turned into another mosque.
Another mosque?
Another mosque. All the way across Britain, there's churches, cafes, public buildings getting thrown down every week, every month, and they're all being turned into mosques.
At the opposing end of the EDL's route stood a gathering of around 100 anti-fascist protesters. With a much smaller police presence surrounding them, the protests assembled holding placards and voicing chants of their own.
I'd like to start by telling you why I'm here today.
We spoke to a few of these demonstrators to understand their view on the EDL's presence in Moortown.
We had our car petrol bombed outside our house. It was shocking and very, very scary. And they'd already sent threatening phone messages, and we were followed back from some UAF lifting where they basically put a gun to our head, one of those pretend guns to our head.
So what brings you here today to the EDL rally?
What brings me here today is that the EDL is here again, and I feel like what they do is they get really, really drunk and then they go out and antagonise and intimidate Muslim or Muslim appearing individuals. And it's not just restricted to Muslims, it's actually to anyone that seems to oppose their fascist and racist thinking.
What is it that attracts an Italian communist to support the fact that a Muslim community centre is being built in Leeds? Those two things don't seem that linked.
No, there is a link, which is not directly a communist reason. I don't have a religion, I'm not fond of religions. I think religions are just dividing people. But I respect the people, the fact that people may follow their own religion, and therefore, because they are people, every people, as well as walking and having the right to walk, they should have the right to worship the religion that they want to worship.
Although previous EDL marches have attracted thousands of supporters and have often ended in violence and vandalism, this gathering of a couple of hundred certainly had its presence felt and made its views clear today in Moortown without resorting to force. For TabTV, Jake Warren reporting from Moortown, Leeds.